Hi everybody, this is Zombi and welcome to another one of my dungeon boss videos. I'm back again on Boss Island, this time with the legendary dungeon, the Bestial Maw. But before we get into the video proper, start talking about it, I just want to put something out there. So I've had some comments back to me with regard to how powerful your heroes need to be to do these dungeons. Well, yeah, I mean that's the whole point of this video. The legendary dungeon on Boss Island, none of them are easy, and the Bestial Maw is particularly difficult, arguably the hardest one I've actually played in this game. So if you're expecting to come along at level 66 with a bunch of runes that are greater rare tier runes, you're not going to be able to do this dungeon, and that's kind of that. There's nothing you can do about it. You need to build your team up, get your runes up to par, and then you stand a chance of doing this. So let's just be clear about that. Anyway, lecture over. Oh, I feel better now. I've got that off my chest. So, the team that we're using here is Torchy, Ember, Furnace and Kobal, in that order. The problem with this dungeon is that you get in these fast bats, and they're the ones that cause the trouble. What you need to do with Torchy and Ember is to try and hit them at range so you don't get either burnt or poisoned, and try and kill them so they can't take attacks. Particularly on the first round, so that you can get Furnace's Taunt on, and therefore if you miss any of those defenders and you're not able to kill them, they will attack Furnace and he'll absorb some hits, and he can take quite a bit of punishment actually. For this mid-boss it's quite easy. You want to use Torchy, his first attack on that bat, and you can sometimes kill him depending on your power. Then finish him off with Ember. For the wolf, you can then just hit him with everything that you've got. He's not going to do too much damage to Furnace with that taunt on it. Having a high epic on Torchy, as you can see, is pretty useful because he can literally move from room to room at times, just vaporizing the whole lot. So that speeds the whole thing up and means less hits on your team and so on. You do need to try and keep Furnace up there as much as possible with his taunt on. Sorry, you do need to keep taunt on Furnace as much as possible. So that if it does go wrong, those bats aren't going to go and hit Kobal and kill him, because they will one-shot him. If you've not put any defensive runes on your Kobal, and you should not be doing that by the way, then he will get one-shot by those bats. Otherwise though, the team kind of follows a similar routine that you might have seen before, where once you've cleared out those fast heroes, you can get Kobal to finish the rest of the room off with any of his attacks that are able to take them down. So you need to figure out that one on your own, depending on how powerful your Kobal is. But hopefully now, after you guys have been watching my videos, you've been focusing on Kobal and getting him quite powerful. Furnace doesn't necessarily need to be very powerful. Mine's good at attack. You can load him up with defensive runes and he'll be even more effective on this dungeon because they're able to absorb all sorts of punishment. So going into this final boss, what you need to do is ideally have Ember cast her first ability to give everyone's attack a boost before you get into this dungeon. If you don't do that, then that's fine. You can use it now and then cast it, but luckily I've already got this on here. When Torchy takes his first attack, remember that both of these enemies are immune to fire, so you can use his second ability to silence, although they're immune to silence as well, but it does nice damage. Then with Furnace, you want to actually use his energy reset on that monkey because it does a lot of damage. And then with Kobal, he just does his thing with his contagion control ability. And then from that point, for me, it's just an auto because I know I'm about to kill him. But you make use of all of your abilities on this. Look at that sequence of events. Adjust where necessary. It does sometimes go wrong. For me, it's sort of, I don't know, 60-70% success rate. It's nice and smooth as this. Once you get into a bit of a routine, it becomes easier and easier. So let's take a look at some of the runes for that team then. Kobal, we're going to save him till last because he's had a recent upgrade, so we'll save the best until last. Torchy here, you can see that his runes are not exactly top tier, far from it. These are just kind of average, that's half decent, but the water resist not the best there, although suitable for Torchy. Not useful on this level though. But again, you know, to address those comments about, well, you've got runes that are max on everything and it's difficult for us to do. These aren't particularly especially good runes, you can see. They're not great. His epic is on max, really useful for that rune clearance ability that he's got, so the higher you can get that, the better. Stats-wise, looking fairly strong, certainly not the strongest I've ever seen. Far from it. Next, we'll take a look at Furnace. He should be around here somewhere. Yes, he is. So my Furnace is geared up for a very much an attack on PvP. If you were running this dungeon and struggling there, what you want to do with your Furnace is load him up on defensives and health. There's plenty of options out there to do. And anyone on that dungeon that we've just run, they're going to struggle doing much damage to Furnace with all of those equipped. So all of those defensives equipped if you manage to get them on there. So, you know, there's something to actually focus on. Stats wise for my Furnace, although largely a moot point, I think a lot of you guys will benefit from making him more of a defensive build. Next up we have Ember. I can appreciate that some of you guys out there don't have Ember, but for me she's quite vital to this because she provides that constant healing for the rest of the team. Although you did see there weren't too many hits on the rest of the team there, so you could easily substitute a fast attacker that you might want to use, so someone like MK or maybe Kai if you've got him runed up for attack. But again, she's got some fairly decent runes on there. She's even running an improved power rune, you know, it's not brilliant. Some decent defensive one there though to keep her alive, again because I use her a lot in PvP, and a vampiric. Some stats for you guys that want to see those, and on to the star of the show, Kobal the Pestilent. Now, he used to be King Kobal, but I guess now he's kind of God Kobal with all of those. Give you a minute there just to pick your jaws up off the floor. Very pleased with these runes. Look at those bad boys. Look at that thing. Plus 10% damage to casters as well. So these are the products I've been able to actually farm dungeons like the Arcane Circle and the Bestial Maw. This is what you get from it. So it is very much worth doing to build up those heroes that you've got so that it allows you to run these dungeons successfully. Power wise on him, it's now gone crazy. I think he's now God Kobal, as you can see. 5,672. The only one that I've got to really improve on this one is here. I want to get something similar to these other superiors with a big bunch of attack on there. So, you know, the only one of these heroes that you've just seen is Kobal that is fully equipped with really powerful runes. The rest, they're kind of mediocre, to be frank. So if you equip your guys with some good defensive stuff and keep your Kobal really powerful, you can pull the attacks away from him and hopefully clear levels like this and similar and be able to actually farm for superiors. That's all for now, guys. Please do leave comments, questions or suggestions in the comments section below. I'll always try to answer. Remember to check out the rest of my YouTube channel for more Dungeon Boss videos, or search Zombie Dungeon Boss in Google or YouTube for more. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.